Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 423. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Opinions matter.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Nothing matters.
That's perfect follow-up. All right. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 423 of the Gamecast. We are fresh off the movie cast topic, so if you just listened to that episode, we will have the same topic in this episode, which is critic reviews and their role with us and how much they mean anymore. And we're going to get into that whole thing at the end of as our topic for this episode. We just did it on the movie cast, so if you want to hear that stuff, listen to that. But first and foremost, let's kick this episode off with what we've been up to. I will say that Red Dead Redemption 2 is really it for me. I'm
still grinding away.
I'm in the end game. I think I thought it was in the end game before, and apparently I wasn't. It likes to just go. It just stretches. So I have very mixed feelings about this game. Where
We've heard.
I know. I feel like
You complain about it all every episode.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to put together as we get closer to the end of the year my top 5 games of the year that I've played, and I haven't played many games this year, so maybe it would make my top 5 anyways. But it is most definitely not winning my game of the year, and I feel like somebody is yelling in their car while driving right now or something because they're going to disagree with us, and it's a weird feeling. But yeah,
I'm sure they
Mike, you're Jordan now.
Mike, you droid again.
I don't know what I can do about that. I don't know why.
I don't know, but yeah. So
Comcast.
Like the game is very mixed. It's very like Tony. What I meant by overcooked is like they just over tweaked every single thing.
Oh, you know,
yeah,
that's fine. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I just didn't understand what this overcooked, undercooked. I was like, what do you guys?
Well, I started with the overcooked thing for like the last week I was talking about on the podcast, and that's where it's like I was mentioning that before, and that's what this game feels like. It feels like they've overdone everything to the point of like, oh, come on.
It's got to be like, right, this is good enough.
Yes,
it's good enough.
It's just like it's just dominating the
Well,
conversation.
like I think Corey said it at one point, like at some point, let it be a video game, right, or something like that. You said something like that. It's just like it's got to be a video game.
Taking out video game stuff that makes video games video games.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Corey though. We don't need to talk about Red Dead.
No, we don't. We don't. I don't need to add to it. I'm just telling you where I'm at right now.
It'll come up again later anyway.
But, Mike, I mean, that's really it for me. I mean, Mike, what have you been up to with Red Dead?
I played it too, and I'm actually, as I get into it more, I'm liking it a little bit more. Because
the thing is, I'm not hating this game.
No.
I'm not hating the game either.
I've adapted to the pace, and it doesn't respect your time. That's just the way I'll talk about like its pace. But I mean, there's still some dumb stuff in it.
Can I just pin that?
Okay.
Let me just tell you real quick. I have to tell you guys this. I have to mention the story. I know you're done with this crap. I'm in chapter 6 of this game. There's at least 6 chapters, and I'm in a mission that I have to run dynamite out of a town. And I was like, let me log on real quick this morning because I had 45 minutes this morning. I'm like, before I have to go to work, I'm done with everything. Let me play it. I just barely made it because of stupid shit. Like I shot the dynamite the first time and blew up the wagon, which I understand happens. The second time I did it, I got out of the town, killed everybody that was following us, and then the guy is like riding with us. He's like, I don't like driving with this dynamite in the car. Here, take the reins. I took the reins and I just lost control immediately of the horses and we flipped over and exploded. And that's how I lost that mission. That's after already playing for 25 minutes in the mission. But yes, that's a bad experience from this morning. Anyways, go on, Mike.
So, I'm starting to wonder if like it's a good or bad thing that we have all these silly stories about it. Like they're frustrating, but in retrospect, they're kind of funny.
Who wants to lose 30 minutes of gameplay because the controls freaked out on me?
I don't want to lose 30 minutes of my time hearing about this.
I know.
In reality, I understand. Like it's a game that you guys are playing, and
it's a big game.
It's a game that the world is playing, Corey.
Yes, I get you. I mean, for me personally, I was done before chapter 2, and I don't know. Like all I hear from you guys is how much like it's not respecting your time.
Yes.
It's like not fun. I'm just like so annoyed about this. This is glitching out. And it's just like, all right, stop playing.
No, I'm already done.
Or
I'm
just
near
like
the end
finish
of it.
And then talk about other things like so.
I will.
I don't know if there's finishing.
I don't want to hear like this until like end of year stuff.
Gotcha.
Just because, I mean, it's the same thing every week.
I'm trying not to cover it, but it's the biggest game right now.
No, it's
selling
the
quick.
biggest game, and it's also starting an online component right now.
I mean, that's
If you
newsworthy.
had to talk about the online component, then I'd love to hear about that. If you guys are just going to talk about story stuff, I don't think we need to do this anymore.
I'm fine with not doing this again. I agree with you both. I'm fine with this because we have talked to death about the
Let's
story.
just take away what we've been up to from now on. We won't do that anymore.
No, Mike. It's
not
about.
that. I mean,
no,
I
it's
can
not
talk
that.
hours about Destiny. I mean, I play that.
I mean, you
constantly.
It's
I
not about.
mentioned it,
I understand what they're saying. It's not about that. We have covered Red Dead Redemption 2 for hours upon hours in our podcasts.
We've been talking about it for 2 months.
Yes,
And,
please,
and it's
move the
way
fuck
less
on.
than everyone else in the world is talking about it, but that's okay. All right, fine. And I've also played the next DLC in that.
Oh yes,
the second
Spider-Man.
part.
Spider-Man.
I went back to that. It's quick, very quick, especially
Very.
in
How's
comparison.
very quick?
2
How's-
hours.
It's the same as the first one, so yeah, it's about 2 hours of gameplay.
Okay.
I could have done it in one night if I wasn't going back and forth.
What?
You're doing something. It's very buzzy.
Yeah. But you know, a little bit better.
Is
But
that better?
so anyway,
Don't touch your mic. It's fine if you don't touch it.
but so part 2 of the 3-part, I guess. I don't know if there'll be
Did
anything
they tie
more DLC
together at
beyond
all, or
that. I wanted it to a little more, but it didn't. It's sort of like its own thing. I'm sure there'll be something that ties it all together in the 3rd part, but there was a bit of a cliffhanger after part 1, and now that wasn't addressed at all.
I just got a
in part
cliffhanger
2.
from Mike
Yeah.
because he droided it out there.
Mhm.
It sounds like you're saying, Mike, that it doesn't really resolve the cliffhanger yet.
No, not part 2 doesn't resolve part 1's cliffhanger, but maybe part 3 will, which also has its own little thing on the end. But I feel like I enjoyed this a little more because I lowered my expectations a bit after part 1, and I knew that they were kind of going to be the same format. So if you want to go back for like another hour or 2 into that world and get a couple ability-less suits, which still kind of bothers me that they can't think of new things to do with the new suits, but at least they have new suits. It's worth going back if you love the game. So, but if you want to, I would wait still for a Game of the Year edition because it's not a lot of content.
All right,
Yeah.
Corey, what have you been up to?
It's the usual stuff. Again,
Destiny and
Destiny's keeps coming out with new content. So they just got a new season starting this week, and then next week is their first DLC drop that they don't want to call DLC anymore.
oh, okay.
So
Patches.
they call it like content drops.
It's like
and
Blizzard
it's part of
games
the annual
with,
pass.
World of Warcraft. They used to give us those massive content patches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tony.
Let's see. Since the last time I was on, Pokemon. I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Yes.
I wasn't going to get it at first, but again, kind of tie into our topic, the social media buzz of this was just crazy. Like all of my Twitter and Facebook timeline, even Instagram, like people were just like, dude, I just got a Switch, and like posting all this stuff like your Pikachu, your Eevee's like riding on your shoulder, all this stuff you can do that for the first time ever because it's like the first HD, like, you know, actual RPG
Right.
Pokemon game. People are just like amazed. Like some of the bigger Pokemon like Snorlax, you just like hop onto him and hold on to him like you're a Squirtle or something like that. He just walks around and stuff like that. Or like Rapidash, you just ride it like a horse and whatnot. I was like, all right, that's kind of funny and stuff. But then like they have a lot of like nods to the original, Pokemon Red and Blue and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And you know what? I could go for some heavy dose of nostalgia this time of year, you know, approaching Christmas and whatnot. So I got that, and it's pretty fun. They did some interesting tweaks to the system with that I kind of want to see them port over to the mainline games. The biggest one being that you actually see the Pokemon in the overworld this time instead of just
I heard that was really cool though. Actually,
yeah, because like, you know, as I'm getting older, like I don't know, just a random encounter.
We don't want the random encounter anymore. We don't.
It's just so annoying and whatever.
About respecting your time again.
Yes,
Not respecting my time.
Yes.
I get it back in the day, but you know, these days there's no need for it because technology is.
Let me just run around in a circle till all the Pokemon fall.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
And that's it. That's it.
I used to run back and forth.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's the
You can-
Pokemon I want. I go get them.
Yes, you can actually choose. You can choose who you want to fight.
Yeah.
So I like that.
And so
it makes me more interested in playing that game. It really does, actually. I might pick this up.
Yeah, it does. I would highly recommend it. So the other thing that's cool is when you do encounter the Pokemon. Now, some people, this is a bit more controversial, so I can understand either side of it. But you don't have to fight the wild Pokemon anymore like you used to. So back in the day, originally you had to like drain the health to like lower
to the
because
red.
the lower the health, right?
Yeah.
It would increase your odds of capturing the Pokemon. This one, it kind of takes from actual Pokemon Go, the mobile game, where it's like you just throw a ball at it, you don't hurt it or anything like that. Depending on the grade of the ball that you use.
So you can be a pacifist.
Yep, absolutely. You can be a pacifist in the wild. You still have to do like trainer battles.
Sure, yeah.
But if like they're too high level, you like feed them berries or like calm them down and whatnot. So that's cool. Like, it's like, again, respect your time. Like, it's really tedious. It's like, if you think about it and like, because that's what I was thinking about it back in the day. And like, eventually your Pokemon get so powerful that you have to have some jobber ass Pokemon
just carry level 1.
The low level Pokemon. It's like, bro, am I going to kill you with this like level 1 tackle move? I don't know.
You never kill a Pokemon.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh, they fainted. So, I mean, I personally like it. I'm not sure if I want it.
It looks gorgeous.
Like,
I'm so excited for the new one coming out. This I just don't think is for me, but like, I'm super excited for the next.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really
the new one. The mainline game is definitely a purchase for me now. This one's the questionable. Yeah.
And that's actually part of why I got it, 'cause I just wanted to like see what they're doing with this. That way I can be interested in see what they're going to do with the next game, because like I think they are going to do a lot of things that were positively
this could be used as an alpha almost.
Right,
sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think though in my like head right now, I think they're actually going to do two versions of the games now, where it's like going to be the mainline games, where it's like Ruby or Gemstone, precious metal, whatever, and then they're going to continue like the Let's Go series and just go through like the other regions with your Pikachu or Eevee or other Pokemon and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's pretty cool.
It's cash cow.
It is definitely a cash cow. I think they sold already 5 million in 2 weeks or whatever like that. So it's pretty Pokemania.
Yeah.
And that Pokemon accessory, the Pokeball thing, is pretty neat too.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah. The reports of that accessory.
I'm surprised you didn't get that one.
Dude, I had to like really resist, because like the thing is like before they used to come packed in like at no extra cost or whatever like that, and this one was the first time where it's like I think it taxed on like $40 or something. Even though you had the GC, I was like, this will be cool for like a month, and I think after the month I'm like not even going to use it.
For me, I was thinking like it's also a collectible kind of thing,
You're right. You're right.
I
might regret that.
Functional Pokeball, man.
I know. We'll see, but sales of and that thing is $99 retail. Yeah. But reports from Japan actually, and I think it's true in America too, but apparently like they sold almost evenly. So like for every regular copy, they sold like a bundled copy. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, the average sale price is $80, which is insane. Average cost of a handheld Pokemon was $40 before, so doubling the revenue.
So I will ask you guys a question. Did you get anything good from Black Friday specials?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally now I feel bad because I forgot about Soul Calibur 6. So I got Starlink. I had to at $35. I picked that up as a special, and I ended up swinging by GameStop, and for the first time in I don't even know how long, I now own an Assassin's Creed game. Thank you, Flipageddon, because I still had credit where I got Flipageddon and I got
WW. Super cheap too, right? It was like $27 or something.
I got $27. I got each of these. I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey and WWE 2K19, which is a game that I've been meaning to play because of the Creator Wrestler. Just like Soul Calibur. I really want to play it. So for those two games, I got them free. I walked out with I used all my credit. It was $1 and whatever cents that was. I paid for these two games because of the $27 each. And thank you, Flipageddon credit that was left on my card. I forgot I had. So I was like, oh, how much credit's on here? I expected him to say like $16. And he's like, you have enough. You can cover both. I'm like, well, that changes things because I was not going to get Assassin's Creed, believe it or not. I was just going to get the one game. And then I was like, well, you know what? Throw Odyssey in there. That's my next game. So there's my next game, everybody, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But I got Starlink as well at $35. I was like, I had to pick that up too. So anything else? I mean, Corey, did you get Diablo 3 or you didn't get that?
I got it, but it wasn't on sale for Black Friday.
You paid $48 on GameCube?
Yeah, I just played. My GCU is expiring, so I'm like, I need to buy something. Not needed to, but I've been like back and forth with Diablo for so long. I'm like, I'm just gonna use it.
Did you see what happened with that game on Walmart?
Yeah, $17. So I went to Walmart and I was like, fuck, they sold out.
Oh yeah, because like, so for those of you who don't know, Walmart
Doom was $12.
Yeah, Doom was $12. Apparently, Walmart activated all their Black Friday sales like Thanksgiving morning or afternoon or something like that. Before the official hours started.
Sure.
So people were like online or in the store or whatever checking Brickseek, and they're like, Diablo 3 on Nintendo Switch is $17, which is the price that the Black Friday PS4 and
Xbox One,
yeah.
But I think Walmart just were like, man, whatever, fuck it, like $17.
It's Diablo 3. It's the same game, right?
$17. So all these people were like, I'm going to Walmart on Thanksgiving Day, and like I was just like, no, I can't do that. Like
I would have done it if I'd known. I missed it.
I can't willingly step into a Walmart on Thanksgiving Day. I think I would just feel like
I did, and I feared for my life for the first time ever going out on Black Friday. I've been at how many things with you guys on Black Friday?
So many.
Yeah, and this is the first time I thought I was going to get stabbed because they were giving out TVs. Walmart does it as a free-for-all. They wrap things up on a pallet, and then they unlock them. They unzip them like at 6 o'clock. So I got there at 5:48, and I'm like, my girlfriend's mom needs a new TV, and it's $100. Let me go check it out, see what the line's like, and I'll go see if I can get one. So because I was already walking around anyways, I'm like, let me stop in and take a look. Otherwise, I was going to get movies. I was going to get Blu-ray movies is what my plan was. So I got there. I'm like, oh, cool. There's like 6 people online. So I'm like, let me get in line. So I got behind the guy, and I'm like, so is this the line for the TVs? Because there's not many people here. He's like, yeah, I think so. And then I hear the Walmart employee say, then I see them. Yeah. So then I hear the Walmart employee start to yell saying, at 6 o'clock, we're going to unwrap these pallets. And I'm like, wait, they're all in there's no tickets, right? And the guy's like, no. And I'm like, wait, so what's the plan here? And so the woman's like,
there's no plan.
The woman's like, I don't want to see any pushing or shoving. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, are you kidding me? This free for all? This is a fucking free for all. And then I realized there's like 50 people waiting for them to unzip these pallets. And I'm like, there's no line here. This is just chaos waiting to happen. This is why you hear about people getting trampled. And it was when they undid the pallets, the people reaching in were just crazy to grab these TVs. And I'm like, I'm not getting killed. I'm not getting killed for this. It's not happening. First, as I left, I thought I was getting robbed. When I left the store, I thought I was going to be robbed. It was 17 degrees when I left the store. It was 17 because I checked the car when I got in the car. There were 5 guys sitting around a pillar outside of the Walmart, just standing outside. Why are you standing outside in 17 degree weather? So I'm like, I'm walking out with a TV in my arms. I'm like, I'm going to get stabbed. And I'm like, I'm not doing this over a TV. If they walk near me, I'm dropping and running. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. So this is what went on Black Friday. I've never seen that before in my life.
Excuse me, sir. Your wallet.
Stay away.
No, that's seriously, that thought went through my head.
Is this the local Walmart?
No, this is no. This was up by the Rockaway Theater. So yeah. So I was like, I just felt so uncomfortable. I never felt more uncomfortable. And I actually ended up saying, like, I was online. So I was like, there's an employee standing there, a big guy. He was like 6'5", not saying a word to anybody. Meanwhile, this 5-foot girl was yelling at people to stop pushing. And I'm like, dude, you need to take control of the situation. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, man, can you get me one of these TVs over there? He's like, sure. So he grabbed me the TV and that's how I got the TV. I'm like, I'm not reaching in there. So he went and got me a TV, and I put it in the work.
Excuse me, stranger, can you reach in and get?
He was an employee there, so I'm like, you do this. So, but that was my sorry.
Yeah. That's funny.
I just thought there was a crazy Walmart story where you hear about these people getting like killed in Black Friday, and I'm like,
I love watching the videos of like just people sprinting in through the store. Like
this is what happens.
Hilarious.
Why?
Unfortunately, people are getting hurt. It's just unbelievable.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Videos of like, I saw a video of a Canadian Black Friday, and it's just like, you see all these employees and like the doors open, and then like just a couple people like walk in casually.
Yep. Sure. My experience believe it or not, my experience at Best Buy was I went into Best Buy at 5 o'clock, and it was very good. It was a lot of people, but it was actually very organized, and there was a lot of order. Target was even better. Target was like spot on, like funneled people through lines. They had a lot of people there, but they had like 30 people doing the TV section, 30 employees. Like there was a lot of people helping people out. Like there was no problems there. I get to Walmart. It's 2 people in the TV section. One's a 5-foot woman who's like not going to stop anybody, and there's a 6'5" guy who's doing nothing. And I'm like, this is just chaos.
No.
So, but like she was just not, she probably weighed 100 pounds. I'm like, she's not stopping anybody barrel rolling. This is not like about, I'm sorry, it's not about gender. I didn't mean to make that statement, but I'm like, it's about her size. Like the guy was 6'5", probably weighed 350, and he was doing nothing. And she's trying to yell at these people, and I'm like, dude, you need to do something. You do something. But anyways, so anybody else experiences?
I did all my online shopping.
I almost did everything online.
And the thing is, like, a lot of places did early, like starting Sunday. Like, so you know how I told you guys I traded in my PS4? Well, Sony came out with an amazing PlayStation 4 bundle for the Slim, where it came with Spider-Man for $199. I was like, well, shit, I still have like
a great deal.
I was like, I still had 150 in GameStop credit and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well, here you go. I'm going to pay $50. You know, so basically, all in all, even out to I paid $250 to upgrade my PS4 to a slim 1 terabyte and get an Xbox One X.
Nice.
I'm like, that's not too bad.
That's a pretty good deal. So they had tons of them at that Walmart. They were just the woman's in the aisle yelling, "I have PS4s." And like, she's like a vendor at a game, like a baseball game. Like she's holding them over her head saying, "I got PS." I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is crazy." Anyways, let's. There's not really much news.
I did get Mario and Rabbids for $20, and
that's
nice. It's a good deal.
Dragon Quest.
Oh, nice.
I got Shining Residence for $25. I picked up Cyber Monday. Actually, Best Buy had a huge glitch. Somebody fucked up and either coded it wrong or whatever. But like basically, whatever was supposed to be the discount price, like save $10, that actually became the retail price. So I got Monster Hunter World for $10.
Nice. Wow.
And I got Street Fighter Anniversary Collection for $5.
I missed that. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, at least you gave me this one. I got this for $2.
So, the Echo Dot for $2.
$2.
That was another good deal. Like I was remember because I was at my parents' house. So like I bought mine on my account, and I was like, "Ooh, my brother's password is on Amazon is saved on his laptop." So I just like signed to his thing, signed him up for the music, order that off him. I sent him a text. I was like, "Just to let you know, I ordered something off your Amazon account. Bye. I'll talk to you later." And later on, he's like, "Did you fucking sign me up for Amazon Music?" I was like, "Yeah, but let me explain." He's like, "Oh,
but wait.
Wait, there's more."
Yeah. So, all right, let's. There's not really any news to talk about. Let's just go right into our topic of the day, which is reviews. So let's kick this off. Mike, go ahead. You want to kick us off? Go for it.
Okay. Now, well, basically, the reason why we're thinking of this is because of Red Dead Redemption 2. There's no way this is a 10 out of 10 game. That's what I think, me and Jim at least.
Oh, absolutely not.
And obviously the other two who didn't even want to continue the game thought while playing this. So we're like, well, how does this happen? And it's not a surprise. We all knew this game would get 10s. So it's like, huh.
Yeah.
So what is the role, purpose, and state of the current video game reviews?
I think whoops, I just accidentally moved the screen. I think the problem with hang on, let me minimize this so I can see what you're talking about. I think what we got to look at this way is reviews are an aid in terms of buying a game, but not the final be all end all of if you buy a game or not. I think what really matters nowadays is word of mouth in games.
Different things though with games and like say movies with this. For one, we know for sure that Rockstar, for example, will give bonuses to developers based on Metascores.
Sure.
So that's a thing. Number two, we know that there's so many websites and YouTubers and people who review anyway online. They still give a score more or less. And then there's the gaming community, which is super toxic if they disagree. That's different than movies.
Sure. I think that, but I don't think that scores, I think scores are meaningless more for games than even, we talked about this in movies, but I think scores are really meaningless with games. I think they're absolutely.
I would disagree because there's more, because if a movie, you just watch a movie and it's just someone's opinion, like it could, like what someone thinks is like trash, like you might enjoy, but with a game, there's certain fundamental parts of a whole that make a game like playable and like works, like even mechanics and stuff. And because of that, I think reviews are often a little more important. And I think people,
I think they're not.
It's a very analytic group of people.
I think with games, I think with games,
the numbers matter more in games.
No, I think games are more based on word of mouth of who you know, and if somebody plays a game and you hear how good it is, even on the internet with all the social media and Reddit, if you hear a game is really
Then
good,
why
it's from people, not from critics.
Death threats over
Because
someone scoring the Wild 7.5 to bring their score down.
Because
No,
you have
it's
a
all about
crazy fan
bragging
base. It's not.
No, it is. It's all about bragging rights. We talk about game of the years all the time. Scores matter a lot more in games than movies at this point. The biggest games are the highest reviewed games. It's totally different.
The most popular
Usually
game is Fortnite.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
game win game of the year.
I didn't say it was going to win game of the year, but it's
going to win awards though.
Oh sure.
And actually, it has already won a game of the year award. Actually,
who gave out game of the year already?
I think it was Joystick Readers.
Wow. But I think
but for the most part, it's not like the Academy Awards where anything in there, it doesn't matter at all to the vast majority. The top rate are the games that sell among the greatest.
No, I think. Hang on, sorry. I think here's the thing. I think for games, it's more prominent for me. It's like this for movies as well, but I think. For me, it's not based on score whatsoever with either. It's based on word of mouth and feedback. So I'll read critic reviews as well for movies and for games, but it will be more about okay, they really like this game, but I want to hear what some people think of it besides critics, and then that will help me decide if I'm going to buy a game. And it's the same idea for movies too. It's for me, that's ultimately how I decide whether or not I'm going to see a movie. Well, I go see a lot of movies, but game-wise, if I buy a game or if I play it through, if I play it. It bases more like God of War. I would have never played God of War if it didn't get the feedback that I got from people, not from critics. I would have never played that.
So
you got that feedback because of the critics, though. I think in that case.
So here's what I want to say:
they're very tied together.
No, there are exceptions. So when it comes to reviews, if something is really overwhelmingly good or overwhelmingly bad, then it matters. So, okay, I'll give you two examples on the extremes. Okay, so just this year we've had RDR2, right? We've had Horizon, both 94 plus games. Last year we had Zelda Breath of the Wild, 95 or 90, so whatever.
Horizon last year, right? Yeah.
Horizon didn't even get 90. Horizon didn't even get a 90.
Yeah.
I'm talking about titles that break the 93, 94 barrier, which is cream of the crop, top 0.1% of all the video games released, right? And those games do fantastic. And then you look at the games that are just reviewed terribly within the past year. You look at Mass Effect Andromeda. That failed out of the gate. That killed the franchise. Still, we're approaching 2019. No sign, no nothing.
It didn't even review that bad either. That was more word of mouth than reviews. That killed it.
But that's what I'm saying.
That reviewed in the low set.
But that's my point. Word of mouth is. I think word of mouth is more more impactful than.
All right, but you can even look to all right. So hold on. Right now, you can look to Fallout 76. That thing is getting slammed in reviews, but yes, it is also word of mouth. They kind of go hand in hand, but there's going to be a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of overlap, obviously, because when something is critical,
really, there's going to be a majority of overlap. Very few people. This is the other aspect of this. Whether it's people who are talking publicly, whoever they are, or professional reviewers, no one wants to be the one who gets ridiculed for having the wrong opinion, especially I think in the video game space, because that happens unless they do it intentionally to get extra attention and they don't care about all the death threats and all the nonsense, like maybe someone like Jim Sterling. But otherwise,
I think Philip would have taken that bullet. Philip would have done it.
But
go on. Sorry.
But I think certain companies get an automatic score like Naughty Dog
Red Dead Redemption
or Rockstar because everyone knows the amount of work that goes in. Basically, I don't know, they might know these people personally, which is also another aspect we need to explore, but they don't want to be the ones who say that this thing that everyone else in the industry and even outside the industry says, oh, this is the quality, this is the standard bearer here. They don't want to be the one who says
let me bring up a game that's older and very not very, I mean, a closing to a series. Let's bring up Mass Effect 3 as a perfect example of critic reviews being 10s across the board, but fan feedback was horrible for that game. Immediately, the choice A, B, and C.
the ending, yeah.
Yeah, and then the reviewers were defending themselves with it. Why they gave the higher scores.
And it's just because of review. And in that case, I think they're both sides are right. Because if you're a fan of the series and it ends like that, you're like, oh my god, this is garbage. I hate what this did. But if you look at the parts of the game up until that ending, you're like, oh, this is a solid game.
But I think okay, but I think that it wasn't the reviews that impacted. Obviously, didn't impact that game. That franchise was hurt from that game, from feedback from people, everybody talking about it.
Right, Mass Effect 3 sold well right off the bat because it was riding the positivity from Mass Effect 1 and 2. Everybody was like, oh, obviously 3 is going to be even better. And then
yeah, but it was us that it was the gamers that brought that game down because it was not what we wanted. It's not what
well, that was the last in that trilogy anyway.
No, but Andromeda I think hurt from that from the beginning. I think that Andromeda was facing an uphill battle.
If you really want to look at that, you want to talk about the people getting upset with certain developers, calling them reverse racist and all that stuff. That also happened in between on BioWare. There's a lot of stuff going on in the word of mouth around BioWare that do with gaming whatsoever.
I don't think I had a.
I don't think I had a chance.
There's a pretty
critics.
large
all right, good,
people talking about that.
Let's see what Corey
Let's
hear what Corey's got to say.
Like, the difference here, like between movies and like games, is that games are an ongoing thing that can change over time.
Sure,
where a movie does not change over time. So the score initially is for a game.
Like most reviewers are dropping scores though because of this. Sorry, I know, but Corey, I know what you're saying, but most reviewers drop scores because of this.
I don't know.
I'm saying the initial scores for games, I think, is you're scoring a game based off of what is given to you at that time. That game can improve or
well, I mean,
that's why that's why I'm saying reviews don't matter as much for these days. Because, like, again, all right, let's go back to like Overwatch because we all played that. Right, review of Overwatch at launch was stupid because that was going to be like the worst that game would ever be.
Sure.
Compared to, you play Overwatch now and you have so many more characters, so many stages.
Technically, that's the way any game should be nowadays, Tony. It should be any game that comes out day one that's the worst that game is going to be.
These are problems because basically the purpose of a review is hopefully you get it before the general public gets it so you can make an informed decision if you want to buy this thing. The problem is with online-only games like that, that's why you get all these reviews and progress things because they know now you can't really give an honest review of an online experience before everyone else is online, especially since a big factor is if it actually works again. Functions online.
My point was where I was going was actually that I find that the critic review for me is pretty important because I want to know how that game is when it's getting launched. So to me, actually, I view the critic reviews higher than the user reviews because this is how the game's launching, and is this going to be an experience I want to have now, or do I feel like I should wait to see how it's going to improve or get better and then take a dive into it? So to me, I think critic reviews are much more important because I'm going to get a feel for what people are saying about the game as is.
But what about Battlefront 2?
What about Battlefront 2?
That was where they changed the game after the critics played the game, and they had the paywall came up afterwards where they changed the values and everything that was in the game was.
That's my point. Like, that's what I'm saying. But
critics were saying, "Go and you should get the game. It's a really good game." And then the game came out, and it was completely different than what they played.
No, the game came out before it actually came out. It got early access, and then it changed again once it was out.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my point. Like that's where like it was more important to hear what feedback was saying, not critics, because they had played something different. That's what I'm saying.
But that's where I'm saying like
that's just like the height of an anomaly too.
It's happened a few times.
But it's like for me, like I was saying, this is for me. I want to know how the game is going to be when the game is coming out. So they say it's a 7 or something. Like, okay, good. Like, am I interested in this game? And that's the other thing is like interest in the game beforehand.
Yeah,
I wasn't interested in Battlefront. So it's like it didn't matter to me as much. But
I wasn't interested in God of War at all. I will say this year, that is a front runner for Game of the Year for me right now. It's up there massively. It's like 2. It's really up there. I was thinking about it today. I'm like, now that Red Dead Redemption 2 is as weak as it is for me, I'm like, okay, what is my game of the year? And it's up there. So, and that was never going to play.
I like to look at critic reviews in video games.
Like my point was like for me is like I read those critic reviews for God of War, and it was like that's impressive, but it's not for me. And then I kept hearing such good positive things about it that I'm like, maybe I should really check out this game. And I'm glad I did, but it wasn't based on what the critics said. Yeah, that got my attention. It was based on the feedback from the people and from people playing it and over and over hearing about it. It's like that's where I got into it, not from the review.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So reviewing is ultimately done for either bragging rights or to set people apart from the rest of the pack in terms of which shooter should you get this year and stuff like that. But ultimately, a lot of this doesn't matter at the end of the day. So all right. So did you guys talk about NPD last week?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. What was the #1 selling game of October?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. All right. How did that review? Did it review better than Red Dead Redemption 2?
No. So
we also mentioned that Red Dead had like 4 days in October.
It did. Yeah.
We almost made a bet that if the next month it wouldn't be that way, since Red Dead did break records for its opening, weekend.
Well, yeah, but I mean, most of the sales happened, first week of the game, so it had 4 days.
Expect a boost this week.
I'm sure this month is going to be impressive.
Online.
Yeah,
but everything's getting a boost.
If it's worth it.
Yeah, I know, but also apparently I read while we were doing this, they have a battle royale mode in it.
Oh, do they really? I heard it wasn't working yet for Xbox users at all. It was down all day. But,
I don't know.
Anyways,
I just read that.
Back to the review thing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think overall for me, I personally don't think that that reviews needs ratings on them anymore. I'm okay hearing feedback about what the game is, but I don't need a score. I don't need a score anymore. I don't.
I think most gamers are very number based, and they're going to look at the score.
No, I think
that's stupid though.
I think you're right. Back in 10 years ago, but I think now the game has changed. I think the world has changed where it's now not based on that because of an evolving game. You don't base it on the score. You base it on what they're feeding back and what they're feeling about the game. Not what if they give it a 9 or a 10. I don't care.
I'm not telling you how you should. I'm saying the score matters a lot.
I will tell you that I have not once at all read a single blurb or review or seen a score for Red Dead Redemption 2 myself. I have not. I never even looked it up.
You didn't see all those?
I mean, that's you personally, Jim. Like again, for me, I'm the complete opposite. I guess I like to go to Open Critic, check out a game, see how it's performing there, and maybe the fringe stuff. Maybe you're right, kind of but that helps you buy it. It doesn't make you buy it. It helps you buy it. No, nothing's making you buy anything.
But here's the thing. All right, you compare the game industry to 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Right, reviews had a purpose because they would review games, a while ahead of time before the general public, and you use that as an indicator of, wow, how am I going to spend my $50, $60, $70, $80, right? That was the only avenue you had, was either reading reviews or renting it or word of mouth, right? These days, before a game comes out, you go on YouTube, you go on Twitch, you could see people streaming the game, you could see gameplay footage, you can make your own informed decision based on, you know what, that looks like fun to me. Oh, this person's having fun playing this game? Wow, okay, I think I can have fun playing with that person too. Like that's what it is. Like individual review, sure, there's about bragging rights, and again, I agree that if you get to like a 95 plus on Metacritic, you broke the social media the necessary requirements to get the social media buzz and wow, this is a must play game, blah blah blah, game of the year candidate,
sure.
The other thing. God of War, I wouldn't have played that game if it weren't for the great reviews.
The perfect example.
But that's one example. All the other games I bought this year, I either knew or it's something I looked at and was I'm gonna have fun with that game.
I'm trying to think of this. I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has gotten pretty good reviews, not reviews, but statements from people where I'm like, okay, I'm interested in the game, so I'm going to play that game. I've heard mixed things on certain aspects of it, so I'm kind of interested in trying it. Now the price helped even more, but I'm trying to think of other games I played this year where I'm like, I've heard, pretty good things about them that I'm like, I'm going to play. I mean, God of War keeps coming to mind, and that's the problem.
For me, there's several games like that have reviewed well that makes me want to seek out the people who either say you don't need to be familiar with this franchise and you would still like it either within a review, or be a person who I know knows what I like and just make me ask will I still like this? Like God of War, like Horizon back in the day, like BioShock before that. Like BioShock to me was the first game that I was sold pretty much on reviews only. And I just looked. I saw the reviews, but then I went on a forum back in the day, and it's like, what makes this game so great? And I just asked normal people too. So the reviews, I think, get your attention. But here's the other side.
I'm not arguing that doesn't. I just said that's what I'm saying. But, yes, it gives you the idea. But
scores though, that is what brings it together. And I think the people who are choosing not to score are either
a lot of sites have dropped scoring. A lot of sites.
I think that's just for the. I think that's because they don't want to.
Not a lot.
They don't want to. They don't want to feed into the machine. I don't see why anyone would do that though. If they're for the bottom line, they don't want to feed into the machine. Maybe
this is for me. It's completely opposite with video games than with movies. With movies, I could care less about reviews. With video games, I like to look at the reviews. I just like to see the numbers.
Hold on. I like to read reviews of people that I think are intelligent and can review something objectively, and give me feedback that I want to know. Past the graphics are amazing. Well, yeah, okay, I know the graphics are amazing. It's the critical insight, the comparison to details. It's the emotions that they get. I like reading reviews. The score, I don't give a fuck about scores for the most part.
I think that's the same thing.
I love when Kotaku got rid of reviews. It's play it or pass. That's it.
I prefer that as well.
I love that.
I agree.
I don't like that. No,
I agree with Tony. I mean, for me, it's not based on the score, anyways. It's based on what they're saying and what people are saying about the game. And I include critics as people. I include the critics as people and what they're saying about the game.
Like with movies, I like my aggregate score with like the Rotten Tomatoes thing, and I like specific people.
Well, you're also talking with more money here. It's $60 or $10 or $20.
That's why I kind of value reviews more, and there's also more parts, I think, of the whole for a game than there is a movie. But there's the other side of this that we just touched on a little bit, which is kind of why I wanted to get into this. Does it hurt like the general importance of a review where we can see this big difference between what we think like a score should be for these games that just have great reputations and then are unwarranted, and how does that happen?
What do you mean,
like Red Dead Redemption 2? Like if you look at a user score for that, it's like 7 something, and if you look at the critics,
I don't give a shit about user scores. I never look at user scores.
I mean, if you average them out enough, you figure.
Yeah, if you get enough people together, you can kill a score.
The problem with user scores is funny because like you're talking about how like critics scores aren't as important as like user perception, and that user scores don't matter at all. It's so weird.
It's not the score. It's not the score at all. It's based on word of mouth for me, like what the people are saying, not what they're scoring it.
Oh,
it's across the board.
Interest too.
They're saying something with the score. That's what it's there for.
No, I don't read they can cut the bottom of the article off.
I don't trust the average user. Fuck the average user.
Yeah, that's true too. So, I don't know. Let's sum it up. Mike, what do you think? Whoop, where'd you go? Mike's gone. Mike is gone. Wait, he's sort of back. There he goes. You're back.
What?
You went off the screen for
anything on my end.
Yeah.
But
sum it up.
I don't know. There's nothing to sum up. We're just talking about.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm telling you that for me, scores, and we're not going to agree on this. I think Tony and I kind of agree on this situation. I think it's more clear cut for me on this one. That scores don't matter. For me, scores don't matter. I think more in games than movies for me here. I don't know why. I just because I want to hear. I know, but I want to hear that. I want to hear that. What they thought of it more. I read more game reviews, you're right, than I read movie reviews. And maybe that is money based, but I'm not reading for scores, I'm reading for what they thought.
Well, also again, because if you watch a movie, you just watch it, but there's like actual substance, I think.
But that's why I want to know
what reviewable.
Yeah, but that's why I want to know what they're saying, not what they're giving it as a score.
I mean, exactly. That's why I don't care about the score. I want to read the content. Most of these reviews, it's just like it's looking at the number. Oh, cool. They gave it a 9.5. I like this review. Bitch, you didn't even read the review. You didn't read anything this motherfucker wrote.
But yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
I say that the majority of people do that, though. And that's why I stray on still. And maybe that's why people fight it, because they don't want people to just read the score, not read their insight. But as far as like the importance to the game from the game's perspective, the score I think matters more in the video game industry than movies or really anything else that gets reviewed out there right now.
So Jim, if you see something that's rated 87 and you see something rated 67, are you more interested in reading the 87 reviews than the 67 reviews?
I kind of want to know why the 67
I would want to know why the 67 got
I kind of want to know why I got a 67.
So I'm just asking, so you're more interested in reading the bad reviews than the good reviews?
No, he wants to find.
No,
the
it depends on. It's based on games. For me, it's based on games.
Well,
so I guess
I understand that's
it
hard.
matters.
It's also interest.
You're going off of just numbers, though. I don't go. I go off of what the game was.
No, I know. I'm just asking you.
I'm not mutually exclusive.
I'm just asking you a simple question. It's like, what do you look at? And it's like,
it depends. What got to 67? Like, what kind of game got to 67?
Does it? Let's say Horizon got 67.
Okay,
like, and then you'd be more interested
because let's say PUBG got an 87. I'd be more interested in finding out why 67 was scored because I don't care about PUBG.
But that's based because we know Horizon's a good game.
So this is what happened. God of War got a 10. God of War got a couple 10s, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Looking at that because it
no, I didn't read about that right off the bat. It was more about, as I heard more and more about it on social media, from everybody else tweeting about it, from everybody on Facebook, from my friends. But that's
happening because the scores are coming out that way.
But that's not what affects me. What affected me?
I know, but that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about you. We're talking about in general.
I guess in general, you're right. But I just because I maybe
and obviously, like Tony was saying, like when something's like way out of proportion to like high or way low, it's going to change things.
It would have had the impact, though. It would have had.
I mean, like let's say a 7. Like there's a 7. There's a difference between a 7 and an 8. Like there's not a big difference between those two things. Like you're going to look at, if you see two games on the shelf and one says 7 on it, one says 8 on it, you're going to probably look at the 8 one first.
Right. Here's the other thing I want to say really quick about these game reviews is because I find it hard, like I find it almost impossible to match up with anybody on my particular gaming taste. So I'll give you guys like a perfect example. Jason Schreier. I love Jason Schreier as an investigative journalist, as a representative of the game journalism for the industry. Yeah, when it comes to reviews, I fucking hate his reviews. Like he slandered the shit out of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. He slandered the shit out of Octopath Traveler, and he's praising like Ni no Kuni 2. I'm like, really, dude? Like Ni no Kuni 2. This is the hill you're dying on. Like, okay.
That game just could not hook me.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Thank you. And I told you. Sorry, got to get that through. Told you. But it's just like when I get a game, it's because I want to satisfy a particular itch, and it could vary from I want an in-depth RPG or I want a fast action Twitch-based shooter like Doom or something like that. So for somebody to like review a game and that's what they're going to review it from those eyes, like, hey, I'm reviewing it from this aspect of like, is Tony Korkanakis going to like it because of the action and the gameplay and the gunplay and whatnot? Or are they going to go into like, oh, the graphics and the sound effects and the voice acting? I don't give a shit about any of that. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about the gameplay first and foremost.
Sure.
Yes, but so and also if you're looking for a game though, let's say you're looking for traditional
don't read reviews.
I'm just saying if you're looking for traditional JRPG, you're going to look for a game that you're interested in, and more than likely it's a game that most people are talking about, and people are talking about it because it's getting reviewed well.
No, because every JRPG I've ever wanted, I knew day one.
That's what when Corey asked me that question about the 70 or 80, I'm like, well, it's whatever I'm looking forward to. I guess
that's the other thing, though. That's my point. Like when you were saying, like,
I think reviews are most important for unknown quantities, like Horizon. If Horizon did not reach, it'd be absolutely nothing. And
I think you're right. If Horizon got reviewed as 7, I would have to concede here that I think we would not be talking about it right now in this podcast. But I think that for like Tony, for instance, Tony would not have played that game had we not all three of us been saying how great that game was.
I think Tony was hard. He was like the
Last of Us. Last of Us. Sorry, I'm thinking Last of Us. Tony, I mixed it up. I'm thinking Last of Us. Sorry.
Jesus Christ! What do you think Tony is?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Last of Us gets that Naughty Dog critic bias, which we didn't go into too much, but.
No, you're right.
For some reason, and I'm not sure why, there's certain types of games that pander to critics more, and sure. I don't know. I don't understand exactly what it is. Like, maybe it's a cinematic game.
Mike, it happens in movies too. There are those movies that you're like, I've never even fucking saw this movie, I've ever heard of it, and yet it's getting an Academy Award.
Yeah, but everyone's heard Dog.
I agree with you, but I think a lot of those games and what I've dubbed the Sony Formula, like it's just these are games in my opinion that are less gamey and more like cinematic. Like, oh, this is this. We're trying to blur the line between video game and movie. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Like, is the game fun? Am I having fun playing the game? or you make me tedious bullshit like open up the cabinet, holding the fucking X button so I can loot one item at a time. Is that fun? No, it's not fucking fun.
I forgot to mention that Minecraft Story Mode showed up on Netflix. Yeah. Sorry, as a side story to that, but yes, go on.
That's right. No, you know,
I don't know, but
I would agree that for an unknown quantity, for the overall success, yes, a review absolutely matters. If I don't know about if a 7 would have killed it because it's a Sony exclusive. If it was 6 or below, definitely. And you know, we'll have a good litmus test in a couple months with Days Gone because that's an unknown new IP. And
that's a game that's not on my radar right now. So we'll see. If word of mouth is good on that, and it's, you know, like, here we go, I'll make the statement. If word of mouth is good on that and it's getting good scores, you know, maybe that's going to light it up for me.
That scores 8 or lower, I think. I don't know. I just think it's a way different animal in games than in movies.
I think it also plays a lot more into people's how they work on a game too, because there's bonuses for hitting certain numbers. So the way people are thinking about making games changes too.
Yeah, but you know, and that's what I've been arguing for a couple of years now is that, like, sure, you know, last generation, absolutely, I think Metacritic 100% mattered in terms of which games did well because you know, we had a lot of new IPs that were coming out. You know, like Mass Effect 1 and 2 reviewed amazingly. I think Mass Effect 2 is even like Game of the Year by most publication standards, right?
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But these days with the advance of YouTube and especially Twitch streaming and to a lesser extent Mixer and whatever fucking other streaming sites there are, I don't think it's as important as the influencer, because when people see these games being played, they know.
Well, in general terms,
do they know the controls though?
Is really important now. But it's speaking generally. Obviously for me, I was talking before, and for you too. Like individually, we have our own opinions, but in general terms, to the in-tuned person, it's these YouTube personalities and these strict Twitch people that
they don't give. But do they give scores on YouTube videos, or do they just say what they thought about it?
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, it depends. So
there's no license to put a score on it.
Random people,
right? Like I'm sure PewDiePie got more people to buy freaking Goat Simulator than most reviews individually.
He makes people buy crappy games almost on purpose.
I'm not saying it's good, and I'm saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that's and I think it's going to get, depending on your point of view, I think that's only going to increase as we progress in this, because younger people, I don't think they like to read reviews. I think they just like to watch.
Sure, it'll be more video.
An attractive person play a video game and make funny noises. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, for me, like individually, it's again respecting time and like having how much time do I have and how much enjoyment per hour am I going to get out of something is what was way more important to me. And so I do like to see okay, what's the general consensus on something? Like, is it something that people are saying that they like? And so I do like to look at what reviews they're talking about in that sense. So like I'll look at, hey, I'm interested in this genre. I want to play this genre of game. And so I will not think Strange Brigade is like a game that looked interesting, but it's kind of getting mediocre reviews. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to bother.
And then for me, like, I find myself more in line with the critical consensus in games for sure than movies. So I actually pay a little bit of attention to it. And really, like, I would have given like something like Fallout 76 a chance if it was doing like 7s, but it is not. So it's not happening.
It might get there, but it might get there.
So, right, that's the thing and that's we talked about in Discord. I think if Bethesda actually puts effort, time, and most importantly, money and resources into this, a year from now, I think Fallout 76 could be a great game.
Yeah, I think it could get there, Mike. I think,
but it's also worth not buying right now.
I think that's wishful thinking because from what I've read, it's fundamentally flawed.
Sure, it's not got the same combat system that should be in the same. VATS should not be called VATS. I've heard it should be something else, and it's a different game than normal Fallout games because it's online based with interactions with other people, but if they go at it like that, this game, I mean, look at what Bungie's done with Destiny. Games can entirely change. It's tough to win people over after that, but it's possible. It really is. And with Fallout, Fallout is a huge franchise. They could bring more people
but this, both reviews and word of mouth, might kill the player base. So we'll see. Again, there's a lot going on here.
It might kill the player base, but here's the thing. Like Bethesda, I think they see the writing on the wall. They need to adapt. They need to have at least some kind of form of recurring revenue in between those years where it's like, hey, we can't have an Elder Scrolls and we can't have a mainline Fallout, so we need a recurring source of revenue.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to wrap up 423. I almost forgot the number of the Gamecast. 423 of the Gamecast. Write us podcast allyoucangeek.net to let us know what you think. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you think again, and tune into next week. But go on.
Last shout out, our number one fan, Aaron, got married recently. So
hey, congrats, Aaron! I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, hey, congratulations. Yeah, wow. Did not know that. All right. Congratulations, Aaron. That's it.